Recite Al-Fatihah first.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, respected friends and colleagues. Thank you for being here with us today. Today we are having our third session of a series of special edition webinars jointly organized by ASA and IWON. So our approach to this webinar today is very santai, very informal and relaxed. So the idea is that so we can don't hold any bars, we just talk and talk so that we can exchange a lot of information and views. It can be bilingual, maksudnya kalau kita nak cakap bahasa Melayu pun boleh, tak ada masalah. To all viewers, if you have any questions that you would like to ask our panelists, please use the chat box in Zoom or if you're in YouTube, that can be covered as well. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Samsul Amry. I'm from KLM. Okay, I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. And our topic today is green gown strike through cosmetics in inverted comma, a story of sustainable beauty. Okay, before I introduce our distinguished panelists today, let me state today's objectives. Objective number one is to understand and identify the benefits gained from this greening stroke, gardening stroke, farming activities. Number two, to discuss how these activities are strongly related to all ASA members and educators as a whole. To understand how panelists manage to garner support from their current participants. To discuss what type of support are required from the university and or given by the university to ensure the sustainability of this initiative. Okay, today we have our distinguished panelists. We have Prof. Azura. She is currently the director of INSAF, Integrated Sustainable Agriculture and Farming. So can we have the video, please? Terima kasih, impresif Prof. Nampak sangat menarik hasil yang dapat daripada tanaman-tanaman tu ya Prof. Nampaknya macam tu ya. Prof boleh bercerita sikit kepada kita, tak share your experience tentang kemudahan ataupun kesusahan untuk memulakan projek ni. Macam mana dia punya challenges tu?
Okey, alhamdulillah. Okey, pertama-tamanya terima kasih kepada pihak penganjur, okey, iaitu IWM World Debate and Oratory Center dan juga Academy Staff Association kerana memberi peluang kepada kami semua panel-panel pada hari ini untuk bercerita, berkongsi pengalaman tentang projek-projek gardening. Okay, very good afternoon to all. Okay, hopefully everyone is stay safe. Okay, so we started this project on September 2015. Okay, why we started? Because we saw there's a lot of gardening activity in the campus, and as among of us, the member is the landscape architect. Me as myself, I'm a scientist, a plant scientist. Okay, and we feel that a bit worried when people do gardening without proper guidelines. Okay, so we started our proposal to establish a research group called INSAF, or it stands for Integrated and Sustainable Agriculture and Farming. And we got approval from INHART, International Institute for Halal Research and Training, to form this group of researchers. Okay, so we aim actually to work towards enhancing the culture of an integrated and sustainable farming system based on the Maqasid al-Shariah for food security application and for sustainable development goal. Or in layman term, I can say that we want to share our knowledge with any level of people, from children to senior people, the proper gardening, farming and agriculture techniques that are able to make individuals sustainable, at the same time do not compromising the earth for future generations. So in the beginning, alhamdulillah, I got a very supportive dean, okay, Prof Hamzah. So he approved small amount of trust fund money for us to start the project, and we started with Mahala Sumaya. And our member actually coming from not only from INHART, not only from Halal Institute, but it coming from different kuliah. Example, some come from kuliah of engineering. We also have member from kuliah of architecture. We have member from laws, and all kind of people which who actually share the same hobby, which is gardening. So to be honest, we are not that have that difficulty to establish this activity, because we have very dedicated dean, okay, who actually support so much with the project. And I have very dedicated members who actually most of the time come together and do gardening, even there's one time even the gardener, the Daya Bersih told us that, oh, you're all coming from the office and come to do gardening together. I mean, for them it's quite not natural lah. For those who have a good post, and then suddenly go to the ground and plant together with other people. So alhamdulillah, our obstacle is not that big. Inshallah, if the same members still together with us, then inshallah everything will be fine. Yeah, that's the history and some experience. The rest of the experience you can see from the the video just now.
Thank you, Prof. Sorry, I didn't realize it was on mute. Okay, betul ya Prof. Kebanyakannya kalau kita tengok kan, bila kita kata gardening ni kan, orang ada tanggapan gardening ni macam orang-orang biasa je, ataupun orang yang tak, yalah, not your place to do gardening, to go on the ground and get to be under the hot sun. So bila kita kata gardening, tak nak lah ada kata nanti apa sikit ada gelap sikit lah, ataupun tangan kotor lah, macam-macam kan. Tapi you manage to convince a lot of people to follow what you do. That's very good. And I also saw that micro credential that you are currently working on. Can you actually tell us more a little bit on that part, because it is very interesting, relating to contohnya macam ni kalau kita kata kita orang yang tak ada pengalaman, dia kata okay, kalau nak buat kompos, whatever food waste dia letak tepi tu, dia kata oh that's compost already kan. Are you going to that direction of teaching people or training people to become more conscious or more aware of what they can actually do? Prof, silakan.
Okay, all right. You know, when we experience MCO, first MCO, okay, and then the second MCO, most of the time, when we want to do gardening, we need a lot of people gathering together, you know, sharing our technique together. But when the MCO come in, so many of the activity has to be pulled back, you know. So then we have in mind that we say that, okay, if we cannot go to people face to face, why not we go to people by using the online system? Okay, and then fortunately, Alhamdulillah, you know, when you have good niyat, rezeki will come in, you know. So then CPD approached us. CPD at that time, Center for Professional Development, okay, URA, at that time need to come out with MOOC course, okay, massive open online course. So they approached us, okay, they said that in their opinion, this kind of course will get many people to come in, okay. So without without thinking so much, because we would like to share. When we go back to our objective, objektif kita memang kita nak share. We want to, as possible, share our knowledge to all people. Whether we're going to get back money or not, that's not the main agenda. Our agenda is we want to share with people the correct technique of gardening, so that you become sustained, you can produce your own food, at the same time you not going to destroy our Mother Earth. Okay, so when CPD come and approach us, so we say okay, we are ready, and we actually already have like 10 modules, okay, related to gardening technique. So we just like do a little bit modification, and it come out to become the micro credential course outline. And we are in the middle actually taking a lot of video, okay, on the technique to do proper gardening.
Excellent. So you are preparing towards, instead of waiting for people to come to you, you make it available to them. That's very interesting. Thank you, Prof. Okay. I would like to approach Prof. Samsul. Prof, when you look at the title, Prof, today's title, what do you think about it? Yeah.
Itulah apa kata very funny and very interesting lah, because my topic more toward gender dysphoria, and suddenly people ask me to talk about apa kata gardening. But dia ada link lah, ada relationship dia, because we need gardening to give extra money for the LGBT community lah as well. I have some slide to share. If the moderator allow, maybe I can start.
Okay. Yes. Before that, just a brief background of Prof. Samsul. Prof. Samsul is the project leader for gender dysphoria. IWON flagship. So he's currently attached with QM. Yeah. Prof?
Yeah.
Okey, silakan Prof.
Thank you. Nama moderator sama dah dengan nama saya ni.
Baik, baik.
So all my colleagues panelists, lecturers, brother and sister, very mana pula dia pergi? Sekejap Okay, this one very short introduction. Basically transgender ni umbrella term lah. People kalau Malay term ni dia panggil maknya people who have a gender identity or gender expression that differ from their assigned sex lah. Okay, this one transsexual. Transsexual ni dia need medical assistance, hormone, surgery. So this is added in 2012 lah. Thailand name dia Narinat Napalen.
Maaf Prof, are you sharing your screen?
Ya. Nampak ke?
Tak nampak.
Tak nampak. Kalau ikut saya dah share. Ya. Okay, nampak?
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Okay, this one transsexual. Kalau Malay term ni kita call maknya je, tapi in medical term ni dia ada banyak terminologi. Dia ada transgender, transsexual. So kalau transsexual ni basically you are transgender. Okay. And transgender doesn't mean transsexual. So transsexual ni dia need medical assistance, hormone, surgery. So this is adik 2012. And then this is the same person, same adik. Now his name basically Syukur 2018. So maknanya ni kadang-kadang sometimes quite difficult lah kita nak differentiate kan between artificial dengan yang tulen kan, yang original. But Islam dia give solution. Islam kata you cover your aurat. So maknanya tudung, nikab ke ataupun hijab ke, dia not only to covering aurat, they also help us in terms of differentiating the artificial from the original. But the problem now, even maknya pun dah have tudung, ni yang jadi masalah. This is Nilofa of maknya version. Even maknya pun dah ada gencu. This one kalau kita tengok mungkin kita bagi second or third looks lah. Because a few of them dia ada susuk, itu yang nampak cantik tu. This is our student with positive remark. You boleh dapat more than one, not two. And these people, they are sex workers lah. In Kuantan. This one with makeup. This one with their permission, because they are in our rehab program. Okay, this is in Kuantan, Wong Ajang, they are doing basically their business lah. Okay. But now this is the new profession as a daya bersih staff. Our trans director, they really give them second chance lah. Okay, basically kalau kita tengok haiwan pun dia mengalami perubahan. Haiwan pun dia ada changes. Kancil now dah drink petrol instead of water. They live in concrete jungle. So maknanya pun dia boleh berubah. So this is the same person, now dia dah hilang tudung dia. Dia jadi our part of IWON community and they are doing part of green project in IWON. Okay, this is Mastura in 2015. These are our student, medical student year 4. Okay, this is the same person from sex workers, now a cleaner. Okay, this is the solution. Now we're talking about sejahtera academic framework. Kita in Kuantan, kita do the theory and we do the practical. Back to the real stuff. Okay, dia ni dia ada plenty of energy, banyak unused energy. Bila main tarik-tarik tu tak apa tu kita pun kalah. Tapi problem when they join as a daya bersih staff, dia punya income tu just 1,000. When they are as a sex worker, they can earn up to 4,000. Ni yang datangnya idea Musangking project in Old Ikraku. Because Musangking dia very famous and very expensive. So kita lead this program together with Office of Campus Director and this is our advisor Agriculture Department. Okay, this is the first phase. Musangking kita start dengan 10 durian. Then we involve Prof KY, Office of Campus Director. So dia not only bottom up, dia top down. So dia ada synergistic punya pengkata action. So untuk watering, kita involve daya bersih staff. basically transsexual lah. Basically transsexual. Nak jadikan dia keras sikit. This is our student. During weekend, dari Basar normally dia on leave, so kita involve our student too. Student yang depressed pun kita involve, so that dia jadi de-stress. Kita nak part of the stress management. Okay. Sometimes our academician, our student pun dia busy, so kita involve volunteer. Volunteer pun ada. And then sometimes kita involve outsider. Kalau everybody start dengan ada commitment, kita involve dengan other party, outsider. Kita involve dengan MTBE, kita involve dengan KAED. Ada yang a few maknya ni, dia allergic dengan cangkul. Dia rasa contaminated. Dia kata boleh tak kita start dengan projek ikan. So this is their suggestion. So kita start pula dengan ikan, tilapia. Start dengan tilapia. So this tilapia bila dia dah matured, kita akan jual to our cafe, or maybe kita bagi free, and this cafe will give free back to our student, B40 student. And then we notice this area, they actually good for kelah. This is what the research input comes in. So maknanya dia not only for community engagement, not only for charity, dia also involved in term of research as well as academic. And then dia ada banyak flora di our old ikraku ni, dia ada banyak plant. So kita involve dengan stingless bee, lebah kelulut. And then kita put more coconut tree kan, so that dia boleh bagi for the long term solution, nanti akan bagi food, boleh bagi honey kepada stingless bee tu. Okay, this project ni done by transsexual community. Okay, this one I think Prof Azura maybe know much better than me lah. Kita ada INHART in Kuantan. So this one Sophia Garden. Project ni basically fish rearing, vegetable and herb farming. This one done by our master student. Okay, this is part of the program. Kita dah start harvesting dah, and the product tu kita give free to the cafe, and cafe jual pada student, also free. This is the end project. The product, hopefully insyaAllah. Basically this our transgender. So far in Kuantan kita ada 6, only these 3 at the moment yang interested, yang the rest they are still floating lagi. So kita basically managed to get them out from the prostitution. This one with their permission, and our main target to remove their breast implant, because this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. So kita remove. So bila kita remove, this is sustainable beauty. Now the transsexual too, they dah get married and have their own family and have their children. So this is sustainable. So this one, you see, this is our patient, almost 60 plus, but the implants still look fresh. That's why this is one of our objective, to remove those yang not considered as not sustainable beauty. So in view of we having now sejahtera academic framework, so kita instead of naming this project LGBT Rehab Center, kita put Taman Insan Sejahtera. So I would like to invite all the audience to come to Kuantan to have a look on this project. Maybe we can share more idea. Now they become talk of the town. Our student pun enjoy coming here. Instead of old ikraku considered as white elephant, at least we can do something for this project. So never give up. We must keep on talking and talking, even to those who are not interested. Inshallah, slowly they will be interested. And this is the most important. Avoid toxic people, those yang backbiting, those yang give negative idea, negative energy. This one, istiqamah. Istiqamah kena ada lah. So this is the output, insyaAllah. Completed after 4 years nanti. So that's it lah basically. Moderator Dr. Samsul.
Okay, terima kasih Prof. Sangat-sangat menarik Prof. Di situ kan Prof, saya nak bertanya sedikit lah kan. Bila kita nampak semua projek-projek tu nampak very you can see some results coming in lah kan. Cuma macam mana dari segi costing, maintenance, manpower, macam tadi Prof ada cakap kan tadi, kita punya participant daripada maknya-maknya tu daripada ramai mungkin 3 saja. Lepas tu you also use your students kan. Tapi macam mana dia punya dia punya participation tu?
Participation ni kita tak boleh push people lah. Maknanya dia must coming from their heart lah. Kalau kita push, kita takut dia just apa orang kata half-hearted je lah kan, 50%. So apa yang kita buat macam maknyah ni, kalau kita jual produk tu ada profit, dan kita bagi balik pada dia. So bila dia nampak ada reward tu, dia akan stay. Dia akan stay. Macam academician kita faham, majority dia are busy lah. Dia are very apa kata committed dengan teaching and learning. Tapi kita try to link something yang ada common interest. Contohnya macam Dr. Lokman, dia minat tentang endangered species. So Kelah consider as an endangered. So kita put Kelah in that project. So indirectly kita dapat grant from his project. Maknanya funder from his project. Macam Busan King tu kita need baja fertilizer. So kita link dengan Dr. Army under EDC program, dia ada buat baja kompos semua tu. So indirectly kita dapat free baja. So the more network kita have, the more sponsor indirectly lah. Tapi it doesn't mean kita tak sacrifice. Kita pun sacrifice our own pocket money lah. Because this one, whenever you need apa kata do something yang charity, community engagement, sacrifice tu that is a must lah.
I see. So your main source of to start capital tu dia datang daripada grants, dia datang
ada daripada grant, even from office of campus director pun ada. That's why dia kena ada top down. Top down penting untuk green light tu, untuk approval tu. Sebab kalau kita proceed without approval, they will ask us to stop. So halfway tu is not good. Tapi bila ada apa orang kata permission tu, then dia akan jadi very interesting lah. Actually projek ni kita dah start since yang gender dysphoria ni kita started 2010 lagi. Tapi dia start become known to university 2019 actually, bila Transsexual start. That's why they need top down. Kalau bottom up, dia akan jadi silo.
Okay, one more last question. Kalau kita tengok dari segi maintenance cost semua tu kan, ikan semua tu, dia generate income kan? Tapi is it enough to roll to the next phase?
Yes, for sure. Because macam Talafia, kita link with Basar Health Clinic under KKM lah. Dia ada their own project ikan. So benih tu kita dapat from Basar Clinic. So maknanya supplier tu free dah. So makan tu pula kita ada our expert, our academician ni especially from kuliah of science. So dia boleh dapat pellet tu free, ataupun mungkin dia boleh free dengan mungkin discount lah. Sebab apa, dia ada network kan. That's why when you have network tu, everything become easy lah. Everything become easy.
So that's the key. Networking. So when you have network, you can assemble things up.
Yes.
A project. Betul. InsyaAllah it become sustainable lah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your input, Prof. That is very enlightening sebenarnya. Okay, so we'll move to the next panel. Brother Muhammad Nur Fadzly bin Basar, only known as Cikgu Pali daripada CFS Gambang. So he's currently attached with CFS, also a fellow and advisor in Mahalah Al-Biruni. So you also are very heavily involved in gardening kan, Cikgu?
Ya, bolehlah sikit.
Boleh tak Cikgu share sikit apa yang Cikgu dah buat di sana?
Okay, baik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you Dr. Samsul, Amry, the moderator for this webinar, and very good evening to the rest of fellow discussant. While I'm speaking, saya ada tunjuk sikit slide ni, tak adalah slide mana pun, just sharing the pictures of our Busan Biruni. So basically Busan Biruni was initiated by Brother Khairi, which is also my friend, and he is a principal of Mahalah Al-Biruni, together with me, since last year. So Brother Khairi, as a principal, he wishes to see Busan Biruni to become something like what we call as signature project for our Mahalah, and also CFS IIM as a whole. Okay, so among of the objective, of course, ada banyak objective, and among of the objective that I can recall is, first, we want to provide the student the alternative for them to do recreational activities. We know the student, especially male student, when they stress with their study, and then they stress with their study pressure, so they normally will play computer games, they will play futsal, sport game and whatnot, but none of them has ever do gardening as a mechanism for them to release their stress. Okay, so we provide this for them as the alternative for activities that they can do. And the second one is we wish to improve the student's psychological well-being. As we all know, okay, so when we do gardening, we forage the plants, we see the plant that we the plant that we planted grow, and we harvest the plant. Normally we will feel very happy. Okay, and that's good feeling we want to share together with the students. Okay, and the third one is we want to allow the student to explore something very new in their life, yet very beneficial lah. Okay, so Dr. Samsul, as of now, if I can recall, we have 30 volunteers so far. Okay, these 30 volunteers, most of them, they have no knowledge or experience whatsoever in gardening, including the advisor and also the patron lah. The advisor also very amateur, the patron pun sama juga, tak tahu apa-apa pasal gardening, but we decided to discover things together. And I'm very happy lah to see Prof Azura tadi, dia dah share pasal sharing macam mana nak buat gardening yang proper. So I look forward to see all the video lah after this. And then these students, they join us voluntarily. We don't force them to join. Okay, and this program is part under MRC. I am fellow in Mahalah Al-Biruni, so this program is part under MRC Biro Art and Culture. When I was a student, I still remember kalau Biro Art and Culture ni dia involve dengan traditional dance kan, buat pertandingan nasyid, musabaqah Quran. Tapi saya beritahu kat student ni, you try lah fikir something else. Kita dekat CFS ni tak ada international student sangat kan, so takkan kita nak suruh student kita berzapin ke apa. Jadi saya cakap, cuba buka minda sikit, the word culture tu, why not you expand pada something different. Okay, culture as I understand is something that we do on daily basis. So I asked them, why not we try to make gardening as a Birunian culture. Okay, culture ni maksudnya the what? The bustan, the garden will be handled by your own, the plant will be planted by your own hand, and then you will provide this food, the vegetable to your friend as well. Okay, and the vision lah for this Busan Biruni, we don't have any official vision yet or any mission statement, tapi apa yang saya terfikir kat kepala adalah Busan Biruni and the people that handle it, we wish to see we become the main provider of what we call organically and locally grown vegetable product to our Mahalah Cafe. Okay, so that all the students will get the same opportunity to eat something healthy for their body. Okay, I'm fellow for almost 2 years already. Okay, I met a lot of students. Tadi saya share screen, nampak ke tak sebenarnya? Nampak Okay. Okay, apa tadi saya cakap? So saya jumpa dengan ramai student. So whenever I met them, I will ask them question, you dah makan ke belum kan? And then in one day, how many time you go to the cafe? And saya tak jumpa ramai student lah, tapi yang saya jumpa, most of them will say, I only go to the cafe once in a day. Okay, once in a day, either dinner or lunch. When they went to the cafe for lunch, they will never go for dinner. Okay, then dia makan apa time dinner? Macam biasalah budak lelaki kan, dia akan makan Maggi lah, instant noodle. Okay, so maksudnya among of our students themselves, they don't have equal opportunity to eat something healthy. Okay, and I still remember on SEM 1, now we are in SEM 2. In SEM 1, students due to MCO, due to COVID-19, they are not allowed to go back to their hometown from the very beginning until the end of the semester. So I asked them, when was the last time you ate fruit? Cakap, sir, last time makan fruit time kat rumah lah. Kan 3-4 bulan tak makan buah-buahan langsung. So that's why I decided, I discussed with Brother Khairi, the principal. Okay, so we decided to establish Busan Al-Biruni so that the student, they can handle this bustan, they can plant vegetable for their friend. And this vegetable, we supply it to Mahalah Cafe and the student can consume them for free. Okay, so I think that's basically the answer for the first question lah.
Cikgu, student ni bila dia volunteer kan, bila dia nak buat kerja-kerja nanaman ni ataupun nak harvesting ke ataupun maintenance ke kan, dia how often, satu hari 2 kali dia turun padang?
Okay. Basically, in Busan Biruni, we have duty roster for student. Okay, so they are divided into several groups, and every group we will assign a job for them to do. For example, watering, weeding, soil preparation, fertilizing, and whatnot. Okay, and every week they will do the job rotation lah. Okay, so for example, the student who did watering in first week and in second week, they will do something else. Okay, and dia tak adalah dalam satu hari tu 30 orang turun, kan 30 orang tu penuh.
Dia ada rotation lah.
Dia ada rotation lah. So satu group tu katakanlah ada 4-5 orang, so they will take turn lah to do watering or whatever.
So usually it's in the evening lah.
Yes.
Ataupun morning.
Yeah. Normally in evening lah. Morning student pukul 8 dah start kelas lah.
Betul.
So morning biasanya principal kita lah. Thank you very much pada Khairi, dia yang tukang siram pokok pagi-pagi.
It's also interesting to see that you repurpose the bicycle.
That bicycle actually the student last year punya they left their bicycle behind, so we don't know what to do with his bicycle, so we just take one and then make it as a hanging place lah for bunga telang.
Okay. Itulah kalau kita boleh kembangkan pemahaman or awareness of the 7R, and I'm sure you know what 7R is kan? Think, reduce, repurpose, reuse, recycle, and rot. So what we can see in the pictures from the beginning daripada Prof tadi pun memang ada elements of yang 7R tu. So when I see the bicycle there, wow, it is something new. Not to say something new, it is not expected of. Selalunya kita tengok barangan orang buang ni, it's just trash. It's just trash. People don't really appreciate, it looks beautiful, it became aesthetic. So to see that bicycle being repurposed as a stand for the plant, it's good. So the students are probably learning that trash just don't disappear. Okay, yes, thank you.
Welcome.
Next we'll move on to Dr. Jasasikin. Dr. Jasasikin is currently the chairman of IIUM Garden Master Plan Committee and attached with KAED. So his area of expertise is in landscape design, landscape construction, and landscape quality management. Dr. Jasa, would you like to share some of your interesting ideas?
What I'm doing is not that interesting as what have been done by Prof. Azura and also Cikgu Fadzly. Okay, we are doing something else is about document. So we were called to form what they call about IUM Garden Master Plan. Okay, first of all, thank you, Dr. Samsul, and thank you also for inviting me. Okay, it's very impressive what has been done and presented by Dr. Azura and also Cikgu Fadzly. Okay, before I explain what we do, I think we need to refresh a few things so that we understand what is the reason this task force is formed. Okay, let me refresh about what we have now. I take example of IIUM campus first. Even though all these things cover all campuses, IUM campuses. Okay, what we have now when we talk about environment and sustainable beauty. Okay, what we have now is we can call it established and matured environment. If you refer to IIM, have been developed more than 30 years already. It's mature. It means that the trees is fully grown, the understory has grown and adapt to the ecosystem, and we have a very unique ecosystem, established and very unique ecosystem. This ecosystem influenced by the geographical condition of our side. We are at the valley and bordered by what you call majestic quartz, Bukit Tabor. And this area have its own ecosystem, its own habitat. This influence our ecosystem. This is very unique, and until we can find something that is very rare. I myself have experienced, found that an animal in our university, which is you cannot find animal. It's very difficult. You can only find this animal in the deep jungle. It shows that we have a very strong and unique ecosystem. Okay, and this is very valuable for those who can understand about this environment and state. On top of that, universities still have other initiative, other activity to be proposed, to be conducted for certain objective to move forward. Okay, that's why all this activity need to be controlled so that it will preserve or will not harm the valuable environment that we have now, if we refer to this our university. Okay, so for that reason, this task force is formed, where we are tasked to look at the mechanism, how to control and manage the activity, especially gardening. We are referring to gardening activity, which we can see is growing in terms of interest of from community of IUM. It's okay if that the doer is come from macam insaf, the Prof Azura, which those that have deep knowledge about it, macam Dr. Fadzly, which is very creative in terms of dealing with this garden. But actually, it's not involved only this knowledgeable people like this, okay? Because it's open to all community members of IUM. Some of them have zero knowledge about environment, and also, but they're still interested and they have a right to do that. That's what we are doing now. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Jasa. Dr. Jasa, is Pagoh and Gombak, sorry, is Pagoh and Gambang and Kuantan involved in that master plan as well?
Okay, yeah, of course. Actually, part of it, if I can continue what we are doing, actually we have three things to develop. Number one is master plan, digital master plan. I start with digital master plan first. This digital master plan is actually a platform to be a data bank about the gardening activity. Okay, so we for this the data we get from the survey have been conducted by this task force. We already launched 2 surveys, and Alhamdulillah, we get response from IUM. We have more than about 15 group of people that conducting this activity. We also get response from Gambang University. Thank you very much. And we also get a response from Kuantan, but yet to get from Pagoh, and also instead maybe they don't have that activity, but it's cover all university.
Okay, see. So it should be interesting to see the plan to move forward in terms of what we can do with our garden and our tanaman lah,
Yeah, the tanaman. Yeah.
This, yes.
Okay, that's only one part. We have another 2 part, which is that okay, when we talk about master plan, it's a data of everything. That's it will be updated from time to time. So we have, if we can use it to troubleshoot, we can use to monitor and also to manage. Okay, by only have this kind of thing, we can do that. And on top of that, if we have enough data, manage data, then of course we can, it will be a resource to conduct a research. For example, this will be useful like a team like Dr. Azura to take it for the research. It's like that.
Yes. Dr. Jasa, tadi kan kalau kita tengok Prof Samsul ada tunjukkan aliran air dan kawasan yang dia boleh belikan kan. I was just thinking, similar things can also be done in Pagoh. Macam Dr. Jasa cakap tadi, Pagoh have yet to respond to your questions kan. So what would you want to initiate that further? Pasal di Pagoh ni saya rasa dia baru, tempat yang baru. Jadi bila tempat yang baru tu banyak lagi peluang-peluang yang mungkin ada. What do you think about that, Dr. Jasa?
Okay, you asked about what I think is a different, because what we are doing is a different thing. We are not the duo. We just try to develop the guideline and also SOP for that. Of course, there are always opportunity. Actually, even in Pagoh, Kuantan, and also all the campus, actually opportunity to develop any type of gardening. But the most important in our part is to ensure that all activity will not harm the existing environment or will not alter the function of the area. That's our duty in doing the guideline and also SOP.
I see. So there should be a collaboration work, talking with Prof Azura.
Yes, of course. I'm going to discuss personally. Actually, that's my intention with Prof Azura and also Cikgu Fadzly.
Yes. Okay, thank you for your input there, Dr. Jasa. Okay, let's go to some of the questions that we have. Okay, the first question that I got was is this one. Okay, the question comes from dia tanya, how do we get participation from our academic staff given that they have very limited time? Although Prof Samsul did say that kita tak boleh paksa kan. But how would you address to Prof? How do we get participation from our academic staff? Benda ni memang tak boleh paksa kan, Prof Azura kan?
Ini soalan untuk saya ke?
Prof Azura pun boleh jawab, Prof Samsul pun boleh jawab.
Kita bagi Prof Azura dulu, orang lama.
Yeah, still right. All right. Okay. Yes. When you talk about time, bila kita bercakap pasal masa, sebenarnya semua orang ada 24 jam sahaja sehari. Betul tak? Kan? Sama ada you king, or you Perdana Menteri, or you rector, you professor, you lecturer. Semua orang ada 24 jam sehari. Personally, taking a tour in my home garden makes me become more energetic to face the whole day. After making tour to the garden, I can even write a few pages of book. So it depends on individual actually. If you set in your mind that gardening actually a burden, then it's not going to be a happy moment for you. It's not going to make you become more energetic. Actually, tour to the garden, it make you become fresh. Your mind become fresher. It give to you, they bagi you banyak lagi idea, to write. And as academician, honestly, I do not think that after 5 p.m. is suitable for you to do any reading or writing. So the best thing, beside doing other exercise, you can do gardening, and then you can get some enjoyable exercise. Gardening is actually an enjoyable exercise with a proper technique lah. Kalau you mencangkul, then memenatkan. For us, like in our technique, we didn't do digging, That's why we call our technique is no digging method. So we don't do digging, tak adalah mencangkul, tak penat. And then I also use my gardening time as the experimental time to test on your own formula, on fertilizer formula, your own organic pesticide formula. So everyone have 24 hours per day. You tell yourself whether it's going to be burden or it's going to be an enjoyable moment. Okay, because gardening has a lot of actually benefit to our health. Okay.
Prof, can you elaborate a little bit in terms of benefits that you just said just now? You're on mute, Prof.
Sorry. All right.
Unmute.
Masih mute.
Tak apa. Ini
Alright,
my okay.
No, okay. Sorry. Okay, gardening has a lot of benefit. For example, the first one, you can divide benefit into tangible and intangible. Okay, for the tangible one, definitely you can harvest something from your garden. Okay, you can harvest halal and toib. Yes, everybody know that actually vegetable is halal, but it's not necessarily toib. All right, and then hold on, ada technical issue. Ada technical issue here. Okay, alright. Okay. Alright, okay. That's in the tangible form, but the intangible form, okay, actually you can build gardening can build self-esteem. Kan? Macam saya cakap tadi, you akan ada confident. If you success in doing gardening, you always feel good to accomplish any task after that. Okay, good for your health. Okay, while doing gardening, you will burn calorie and strengthen your heart. In gardening, you also can reduce stress. You help reduce symptom of depression and anxiety. Sekejap ya. Ada dengar suara lain ke?
Ada.
Dengar suara lain. Sekejap ya. Let me solve the issue of.
Tak apa, I'll proceed with Prof. Samsul. Prof. Samsul, how would you want to do that actually, relating to the question that I asked Prof. Azura?
Macam Kuantan, we notice lah ada a few of our colleagues ni, dia basically they have talent, but they don't know how to come forward. So what I normally do, kita akan promote our activity. For example, macam in Ikraku, we don't have electricity because of the landslide before. So untuk repairing tu at least 1 or 2 million. So what we do, we think of alternative, maybe solar energy. So we have academician who very good at solar technology ni. So kita engage with these people. Because we notice a few university, they take our academician for their advantage.
Okay.
And that's our colleague ni, dia tak tahu kat mana dia nak share dia punya platform, dia punya expertise tu with our own university. Now kita promote, so bila promote baru dia tahu. This is how we do the network. Nampak tak? So maknanya kadang-kadang apa yang berlaku tu kita pun tak boleh bagi negatif lah. Mungkin ada staff yang ataupun academician ni, mungkin their interest tu after office hour. During office hour ni maybe they are not so interested lah. Because what we are doing, kita buat masa macam lunch time, ataupun maybe a few people dia buat during office hour, mungkin masa dia buat literature review dia dapat headache ke apa ke, BP up ke, so they go to this place to distress. So different people have different mechanism lah, different style to distress. That's why kita tak boleh langsung kita kata people not interested, people maybe ada something else. Kita kena assume maybe at home they have their own gardening. Even in Kuantan, we have a few colleagues yang they buy a few lands just to set up new durian. In Kuantan ke apa, they are not interested because maybe stuck with apa kata commitment in hospital ke, in clinic ke apa ke kan. Jadi kita just need to find these people to discuss ke, to get them in our network ke apa ke. This is apa orang kata part of the communication skill juga lah. That's why top down, bottom up ni penting. Top down dia kena promote. They must promote this project. Otherwise, the bottom they know nothing. Nampak tak? What happened in our university? Sometimes top down think plan A, bottom think plan B or C. Dia tak match kat situ. That's why promotion penting, meeting penting. Then barulah kita boleh work together lah. Because I notice majority of our colleagues ni, they have their own capability, their own talent. Just kita nak tap saja. Cuma biasalah a few lah saya kata, a few study dia think negative. Dia rasa university not facilitate. Ni macam semua masalah lah. Bila semua masalah ni jadi masalah ni. That's why kita try to harmonize. Kita try to get something yang common lah. Common interest, common platform. Dan slowly kita develop.
Okay. Prof, ada satu lagi soalan untuk Prof. Soalan dia kan, ini relating to your flagship project.
Yes.
Dia tanya, is there a way we can involve students in this project as in students who are having identity confusion?
Actually, student is my key player. Student yang doing dirty works ni. Kalau medical student involved in LGBT community, they should receive triple ataupun double punishment. They just like doctor yang smoking dah. How come you are going to advise patient to stop when you are smoker? And so this is not apa orang kata appropriate lah. So student memang kita involve. And let's say kalau student tu dia involve as apa orang kata transsexual ke ataupun gay ke, kita bagi dia reverse psychology. Okay, you nak jadi gay, why don't you see the real gay? Why don't you see the real transsexual? The real transsexual ni maknanya dia do A to Z. They remove everything, even they remove the penis. So why don't you see them? So I normally ask the transsexual to give advice to my student. Macam tu lah.
During that flagship,
yes.
activities.
And sometimes this is something yang serious yang university must take upon kata action. Normally I find that our university prefer not to take action lah. Maybe they think something bigger, apa orang kata NGO, international NGO will attack ke apa ke. Tapi actually we have experience where student we take action and we advise student to withdraw from the course. Instead of apa orang kata dismiss ke apa, kita advise student to withdraw from the course. So student withdraw. So bila student withdraw, they try to apply other university. So that university dia akan ask our university what happened to this student. Tapi kita tak reveal what happened. This is confidentiality. Kita just explain the student dia ada poor discipline ke apa ke. So that IPTA also reject the application from this student. So this student dia went to IPTS. So IPTS akan accept, and then from there they learn from apa orang kata through the hardship lah, because now dia tak ada scholarship, dia tak ada any financial assistance. Basically from the family. That is the turning point. That's why action sometimes is a must. Kita kena ambil. So bila kita close one eye, that's why they become cancer. They spread. This is my personal opinion. Kita kena ambil action. Idea dia like it or not, this is the right decision. Itu saja.
Sekarang ni kita ada berbagai cara untuk tangani lah.
Yes.
Okay. Salah satunya cara yang Prof cakap ni lah.
Tapi kalau student tu, let's say this student they have insight, dia tahu this is wrong, dia ada guilty feeling, kita do all out to help him. Tapi kalau dia poor inside, even dia against us, dia against the university mission and mission, then we must take action. Dia ada different ni, bukannya kita blanket semua kita take action, tak. Tapi kita tengoklah, kita categorize. Kalau dia good inside, dia ada guilty feeling, they want to change, they want to do something better, okay, then kita tolong.
Okay.
Thank
you very much. Okay, another question. This is for Dr. Jasa. Saya baca ya, Dr. Jasa. Despite all of the good facts about our ecosystem, what is the university's plan to restore the natural habitat in surrounding the university, such as Mariam's Lake, which is no longer a lake now? Dr. Jasa?
Okay. Actually, I don't have enough information about all those things because that's the university agenda. But I know that we have a River of Life project, River of Life project, which is specifically tackle the issue of river, especially in Gombak campus. But we are facing a big problem because of the development at the upstream. Okay, ini ada kaitan dengan perundangan lah. Then we cannot do much on that. We cannot stop them. But Alhamdulillah, lately the project at the upstream rasanya dia stop sekarang. I do not know based on what pressure. Okay? But they stop. Hopefully, this is the biggest contribution to the problem of our river actually. Bila river macam ni, of course the ecosystem of the river semua ni will be disturbed. Okay, will be disturbed. Okay, dia akan jadi tak cantik lah. That's the reason why kita punya UIA ni. Actually, kalau we can solve this problem, definitely UIA ni memang jadi heaven lah for us. It's going to be a very beautiful campus with two river in. We have two river. That's referring to IUM lah. But there are initiative to study, to do research about upgrading the quality of water and also quality of the ecosystem of the river in UIA. It's called River of Life.
Okay. Yes. So itulah dia macam-macam lah. Kadang-kadang external, internal factors pun we cannot control. Sometimes we can control to a certain extent. Sometimes if we want to control certain things internally, but external is also affecting us.
Yes.
So that can be a problem. But do you think that we can actually voice out, being IIUM as a platform? We are internationally renowned. Even in Malaysia, we are very, very strong. Do you think that we can actually push certain things to get things done?
Yes, of course. We need to be consistently highlight this kind of issue. Environmental issue is not only for IIUM, but the entire development in Malaysia. So when people aware, when the government aware about this thing, of course, we hope that will be a change on this particular issue. We need to be continuously in in all area lah, maksudnya all expert, not only a landscape, also macam Dr. Azura, also a scientist in environment and all these things, continue to voice this issue so that government akan catch this thing and then make a change on this issue.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Dr. Azura, so Prof. Azura, would you like to add on to that?
Okay, related to Tasik Mariam, right?
Yes.
Okay. For Tasik Mariam, as far as I'm concerned, then River of Life group, okay, has actually met with the Ministry of Environment. So there's some work has been done over there. So that's the latest news that we know. So the rest, I'm not sure. But if we want to upgrade that Tasik Mariam, I think Dr. Jasa can call all the people that work with gardening, whatever. We can meet and discuss further on the detail of this project. To improve, maybe we can plant 2 or 3 surrounding the Tasik Mariam, because I'm definitely sure that the soil over there is quite fertile because it's come from Mendakan kan. So you can call Dr. Jasa, you can call people. We're ready to give our ideas on this issue. Okay, thank you.
Yes, that will be great to move forward. Cikgu, macam mana cikgu rasa where can we go after this? I mean, we talk about how we can get our friends to be involved. We talk about how to get our students to be involved, the community even. Contohnya Prof Samsul kan getting the maknya to be involved. But this goes beyond that, like it can go beyond that. What do you think, Cikgu? Macam mana kita nak boleh ke kita nak pergi lebih luas, lebih besar, lebih laju, lebih pantas? What do you think?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Samsul. I think it's a long journey, and the objective is unattainable. Okay, the objective is unattainable. For Busan Biruni, me and also the volunteers, we divide our effort into 3 phases lah. Okay, first phase, and that phase is based on the semester, 3 semester that we have in CFS. In SEM 1, phase 1, okay, so we focus on developing the SOP first, because we know nothing about gardening, we amateur. Okay, so we have to develop the SOP. Contohnya nak semai benih berapa hari, and then selepas dah ada sapling tu, bila nak kena transfer dekat raised bed, and then how many times you should fertilize, how many times you should water it every day. Okay, so something like that, and then we develop the duty roster for all. Okay, so during the first semester, what we did was is to nurture the interest of the volunteers, because these volunteers, majority of them, they have no idea whatsoever about gardening. Okay, so we want to lock them, so we have to nurture that interest first, and also to inculcate the sense of belonging lah. Okay, sense of belonging ni maksudnya kita selalu ajak kumpul orang ramai, ada 2-3 kali kita breakfast bersama. After that we do gotong royong, so that they can get along together. And then second phase, supposedly on semester 2, but it cannot be implemented. Why? Because the students are not allowed to return back to the campus. But our plan was, okay, we want to get the support and also engagement from the staff, the lecturers. Okay, so how to get support from the lecturers? We don't expect much lah from the lecturers, because they have another hakiki responsibility. Okay, so what we assume for them is maybe just encouragement, motivation for the student to involve with this kind of activity. So how to encourage? Not so difficult. When we manage to harvest the sawi ke bayam tu, just come, pick and pluck and pay as you wish. Okay, and that's how we sustain. Okay, as far as I can remember, since semester 1 until now, kita dah harvest dalam 3-4 kali lah gitu sawi kita tu. Kita orang banyak tanam sawi bok choy tu sebab itu yang paling senang nak hidup. Untuk amateur ni tak berani nak try yang susah. Kita tanam yang paling senang nak jaga, and then ada hasil. So kita panggil semua lecturer ni, staff, just come. We tell them this bustan is not belong to Brother Fadzly, not belong to the student, but belong to everybody. Okay, you just come and then support us with the financial support, and we don't put any price for it. Sebab kalau kita letak harga, sebungkus sawi tu dalam RM2-3 je, tapi kalau kita tak letak harga, biasanya lecturer ni they are very generous, dia bayar RM10, RM20. That will be more profitable lah. And dalam satu musim tu, in one season, we can get around RM150 to RM200. Not so much, but I think that is adequate for us to spend for the next cycle lah. Okay, and then we also plan to organize a program called as buy and feed. Okay, buy and feed, because at the end this vegetable will be sent to mahallah cafe, but we cannot expect cafe operator to cook it for free. They also have some cost to bear. Okay, so the lecturer, they will be invited to pay maybe one tray around RM15. Okay, and then we pay that RM15 to the cafe operator, and they will cook that vegetable, and the student can get the vegetable for free. Okay, and the third phase, maybe this is too ambitious for us. Okay, tapi we assume within 2 semester all the volunteers will become so-called expert lah, kan? Okay, so during the phase 3, we plan to maybe to educate the community. Okay, this community consists of the lecturers, the other students, and also the community that stay near to CFS Gambang. Okay, and after COVID-19 is over, nanti we plan to invite our counterpart, Matric Pahang, UMP to visit our campus, and maybe Busan Biruni can be one of the spot for them to drop by. And also the student, when they graduate later from CFS, Okay, they only stay here for 1 year lah. Okay, so after they graduated, so we hope that they can bring back this hobby to their hometown. Okay, start to do home gardening at their home and educate their family and their neighbor to do such a thing.
Even
So
they can
that's
continue their activities in their
betul.
future
And
campuses.
even Doctor, recently actually we plan to organize a workshop. Okay, on January, workshop on MD2 pineapple planting. We even get the support from Lembaga Nenas Negeri Pahang. So they agreed to contribute us with 500 pineapple sapling. But that program couldn't be materialized because of the bad weather back in January. Gambang banjir kan, so kita terpaksa postpone program tu, and then tiba-tiba PKP, so we have to postpone to next semester lah, insyaAllah. So that is another avenue we use to invite the staff to join us to participate in this project.
May I ask where can you plant all these saplings?
Actually dekat Mahala Biruni tu kita ada compound area, very big compound area, and it is empty space. Underutilized space, so memang area tu ada banyak lah kat situ.
Jadi are you going to use a similar method used by Prof Azura, no digging, or do you dig, or do you intend to dig?
Sorry, macam mana?
Prof Azura did mention about methods not using cangkul. Are you thinking along that line, or are you just assuming your present piece?
We are thinking about it, not sure yet.
Okay.
Tapi itu costnya will be very high, okay? Yang murahnya guna cangkul lah. And student pun ada aktiviti. Tapi tengoklah, kita boleh fikirkan juga macam mana.
Okay. If you have it your way kan, Cikgu, rasanya what would you kalau boleh apa lagi yang diperlukan yang boleh membantu, can help your effort further, asking from the university, asking from the agencies, state agencies, or even kementerian. What kind of help do you need? Apa lagi yang kita perlu?
So far, Alhamdulillah, we have received a lot of support from top management of center, the dean, the deputy dean. They are aware about what we are doing. Thank you very much for them. But maybe after the, I'm not sure whether that master plan covers Gambang campus, right, Prof Yasa? But I'm not sure whether our center have our own master plan. I'm not really sure about that, and I don't know which person is a person in charge to come up with that kind of master plan. But I think when we want to come up with a master plan, the objective, the implementation must be very clear to all unit in our system. Okay, for example, I can share to you, as far as I remember last year, kan, time kita tengah semangat buat SDG tu, we had a lot of discussion, and our Department of Economics decided to initiate CSR, CFS Sejahtera Room. Okay, and then Department of Physics, dia orang buat Busan Al-Fizia, dia pun ada provide bento ataupun Tupperware kepada student. Because to encourage the student to not to use a food container from cafeteria, and we were told that this effort will be reflected in our APAR, for instance. Okay, but the last time when I did our APAR, okay, that SDG point does not automatically reflected in that system. Okay, not like CTD point kan, CTD point every time we attend training, for example, kita akan dapat CTD point. Tapi SDG point ni, who responsible to credit it to the staff? Okay, so kalau kita tengok SDG point tu is not available in our system, and we were told to self-assess ourselves, so it's kind of funny. Okay, so I don't know what's the clarification behind this, but for me personally, I think even our appraisal system failed to acknowledge what we have been doing. Okay, so we expect the lecturers, the staff to do this gardening stuff, something they don't have any interest of. Okay, so they are encouraged, or maybe they are forced to do that sebab department dia buat. But at the end, there is no outcome that we can see. Okay, so maybe on the management part, we have to take this into consideration. Kalau boleh, kalau betul kita nak buat, Okay, dia punya sistem tu, dia punya implementation tu mestilah di-reflect dalam semua unit dalam kita punya sistem ni. Apa ada dapat point tu betul-betul dapat point dan sebagainya. Itulah yang saya terfikir. Thank you, Doktor.
Jadi apa yang kita usahakan tu dia ada jugalah dia punya returns situ nampaklah juga ya dari bentuk dalam bentuk apa ni. That's a good point that you highlighted.
Kalau orang yang ada minat macam kami ni tak ada masalah. Kan tak ada SDG point pun kita orang akan still buat juga. Tapi untuk orang yang susah kita nak tarik dia, so dia orang kena adalah benda tu.
Mungkin kita boleh masukkan lagi macam suggestion yang saya dapat ni can promote wakaf time for the time spent for this kind of project. So that is one idea, also one concept that we can actually attach to the activities that we are doing in relation to greening our universities. Yes, so we are actually reaching the end of our program. So before we end our program, I just want to ask everyone, all the panels. We'll start with Prof. Samsul first, and then Prof. Azura, and then Dr. Jasa and Cikgu Fadil. What can we sum up as today from your point of view? Apa yang kita boleh take away from this interaction that we have today? Prof. Samsul boleh bagi sedikit pendapat?
Apa tu? Basically our intention lah, our intention. Kalau kita sincere, kita honest about something, I think there is no hard feeling lah. There is no hard feeling. Either university concern ke, university ignore ke, ataupun our colleague just apa orang kata close one eye, close both eye ke, we will proceed lah. That's why when we started this project to top management memang basically not interested lah. Because this is cannot be pattern, cannot commercialize, even cannot kalau nak publication pun very tough and very difficult. But we don't care. Kita proceed because our intention for Allah, because this is a part of dakwah, this is part of sunnah, so we just proceed. Whatever the outcome, we leave it to him. That's it. That is my conclusion.
Okay, thank you. Prof. Azura?
All right. Okay. Yes, I agree with Prof. Samsul. Okay, with a good niat, insyaAllah. But this is going to reply to those who are very interested. Yeah, Prof. Samsul. If we want to encourage many people to join us, we need to start with, a carrot and a stick, something like that. Okay. For example, like Dr. Fadzly said just now, they want to see in their akar that they did this. It's not for us who lead, but for those who want to join us, they want to see something. I even received a complaint because some of my junior members said that this is very discouraging because we cannot report because INSAF is not listed as one of the flagship project. Okay, Dr. Jasa, for your information, INSAF is not listed as one of the flagship project. Although we already moved outside the campus, we already embarked with the Sekolah Kebangsaan Dalam Batu, with Kementerian project, but we are not listed as the flagship for me. And those who are in the team, we are okay. But when you want to bring in new people, you need to give them something in return. And for students, for example, to bring them in as a volunteer, we actually give a lot of food to them. We also give certificate for them to register in their staff point, and for staff, to encourage them, we deal with MST to let them have the CPD point when they involved with the gardening project and so on. So yes, for some people, it's not going to be a problem, but for the beginner, they need this. So I think that maybe Dr. Jasa, you can bring all this group, the gardening group, and maybe we can have a proper guideline or to have like recognition at the university level for the beginners, okay? And maybe it going to be a bit more structured lah if it is formed under a entity, a center or whatever that can manage all the gardening's activity, so that we can make sure that everyone are doing the gardening activity at a proper using a proper technique. We're not going to memenuhkan lagi sungai-sungai kita dengan banjir, because bila mereka do digging part tu kan, and then kebetulan hujan lebat turun, habislah semua masuk ke dalam sungai, timbus lagi sungai kita, penat kita korek, dia akan jadi benda yang sama. So I think all this gardening project ni eloklah kalau disatukan, di-manage dengan elok supaya semua orang mengamalkan a healthy gardening technique, healthy agriculture technique lah. Then we willing to share if you need the assistance.
All right.
So that's all from me lah.
So that's a good opening there. Pagoh is out. Dr. Jasa, would you like to share your takeaway, please?
Okay, gardening is good if you like look at it at any angle. Also, actually, it's part of in line with the university roadmap. And also yesterday they have staff webinar. They also mentioned about these activities, mean that we have a full blast from university to carry on this activity. Okay, I agree with the recognition should be given to this to the implementer if the university is serious about this. I think yes, university is serious about it. That's the reason university formed this task force to look at this thing. Okay, other than guidelines, we have SOP, which is the process of conducting this garden activity, which will be handled under the development division. Okay, that's the process, which is all the group that have intention to develop it, they need to submit to apply for approval first. They submit a proposal. They tell about their objective, how they're going to conduct it. There are different stages, at least 3 stages. The approval, the implementation stage, and also the rehabilitation stage. Rehabilitation stage means if that group decided to stop that project, how they are going to reinstate the environment, something like that. So this the development division will have their own group. They will appoint them. Maybe Dr. Fadzly, Prof. Azura will be part of it to evaluate the proposal. Like I said before, because the person who have intention to do it is not only those that have knowledge about doing it. So they may actually there are a group of people, students, they ask university, can we do this? How are we going to do this? But we don't have platform. We have a written document to respond to their queries. It's like that. Okay. So another thing is there are many objectives of doing this garden activity. Okay. Some of it, Prof. Samsul is different, generate money, and then maybe this is also can be an activity that to instill or inculcate the sustainable attitude. Okay, this activity. When we do this gardening, actually we are involving in the sustainable activity where we can control our activity so that it will be environmental friendly. We have the power to control that, so we can control that the produce is healthy for our family. Well, this is all good thing, and all good thing we contribute to sustainable environment, whether it's directly or indirectly.
Thank you, Dr. Jasa. Actually, I just received one question, but since we are very short of time, can you just very quickly sum up or respond to this question? The question, I believe, is for you, Dr. Jasa. The question it is, what's the way forward from the task force team. Maksudnya, what would the task force team do from here onwards?
Okay. To plan forward. That's why we start with our digital master plan. We need to know what the current situation. We need all this data. Only from this data we can plan. We troubleshoot and plan how to move forward. Okay, that's why we really need cooperation from all the garden implementer to support, to give us our information. We're going to, from time to time, we're going to launch a survey on, for example, after this, maybe we're going to do a survey about the output or the produce, or the produce we get from this activity. So from that, we will know how the effectiveness of this program, in what area we need to focus and all those things. Without this thing, we cannot do much on that. Okay, this is the importance of that digital.
Okay, terima kasih Dr. Jasa. Last kali, Cikgu, ada what's your key takeaway that you want to share with everyone? Just a short one. Unmute yourself, please.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Untuk semua partisipan yang mendengar ni, I think personally gardening has become my hobby for the last 2 years. Okay, only 2 years. And for me, we need to revisit the food that we eat every day, especially the vegetable. We need to recheck where does it come from. Okay, so normally we will buy our food, our vegetable from the supermarket. Kalau kat Kuantan ni kita ada TMG kan. And this TMG, they get it from the big ag. Big ag means big agriculture. Okay, kita faham firm-firm ni kalau dia nak dapatkan untung, dia kena minimize the cost and they need to maximize the production. So in order to make the production to be very quick, so they will fertilize, they will use pesticide, and this pesticide and chemical fertilizer is very bad for our environment. Dia akan absorb, contaminate our soil, and finally dia akan pergi ke sungai dan contaminate our aquatic life. Okay, so we are part of it actually because we are the one who demand their product. Okay, so one way, the tiny thing that we can do is to start gardening at home. Gunakanlah mana-mana space tu. Kalau tak ada space, kita boleh pinjam space orang. To start, whatever it is, we need to start. If we don't start, we do nothing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak-banyak. All of your ideas, your way forward, your future thinking is very, very interesting to hear. And I believe that all of these ideas can be done. Kalau kita tengok balik, sebenarnya benda-benda ni dia ada manfaat dia. Walaupun begitu dia ada juga dia punya challenges. Nothing is easy, but we need to talk to each other, and then we need to have a good networking since we have limitations. Kalau kita boleh ada network, kemungkinan we can go further. Macam Prof Samsul kata, kita ni kita communicate dan kita punya networking tu sangat penting. Jadi kalau kita boleh pinjam network orang pun lebih baik juga ya Prof. Okay, terima kasih. So it's already 4:30. We've reached to the end of our webinar session. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the panelists for your time and your effort and your thoughts. I would like to thank you, the organizer, ASA and IWON, and to all viewers in YouTube and also here. So terima kasih banyak-banyak. Hopefully we can move forward, insyaAllah, with the blessing of Allah Ta'ala. Okay, so we'll end our session with wal ars. Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Okay, we can Dr. Azura, yeah. We can discuss or related. So Dr. Fadzly, I don't know, but for Prof, Samsul is too big lah the project.
I'm really impressed lah.